Welcome back. Today, we explore some of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. Today, we're diving into the world of Abraham Lincoln penny coins that could potentially make you a millionaire. First up, the 1923 Lincoln Wheat Penny. If you're a collector or just a fan of American coins, you're in for a treat. We're going to dive into what makes this coin special, its features, and most importantly, its value in today's market. Let's get started. First, let's take a look at the obverse, or the front of the coin. This features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, created by Victor David Brenner. As you can see, Lincoln's face is prominent, though the wear on the coin's surface is visible due to its good condition. The inscription, "In God We Trust," is clearly visible, as well as the year 1923 below his chin. One interesting thing to note about the 1923 Lincoln Wheat Penny is that this was a period when Lincoln pennies were widely circulated and the design was already in place for over a decade. The portrait remains iconic and recognizable, and it still stands out despite the wear. Now let's focus on the date 1923. This year is important for collectors as the coin does not feature a mint mark. That means it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, where most pennies from this time were produced. No mint mark means this coin has a bit more historical value, especially for collectors seeking unmarked pieces from the early 20th century. Flipping the coin over to the reverse, we see the famous wheat stalks design. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this reverse design has become synonymous with the Lincoln Wheat Penny series. The words 1 cent are prominently displayed in the center, flanked by 2 stalks of wheat, while the phrase E pluribus unum is etched along the top. Despite the good condition of this coin, the details of the wheat stalks on the reverse are still visible, although they may have softened a bit over time due to circulation. The United States of America inscription is still legible around the edge. So what do we mean by good condition? Well, in good condition, the coin shows visible signs of wear, but still retains the key features of the design. The Lincoln portrait is visible but slightly worn, with softer details. The wheat stalks on the reverse are still distinguishable, though not as sharp as they would be in higher grades like extra fine or mint state. It's a coin that has been used but still holds its historical integrity. So how much is this 1923 Lincoln Wheat Penny worth in today's market? Well, the value of a good condition coin can vary depending on several factors such as demand and the specific auction. But generally speaking, a 1923 Lincoln Wheat Penny in good condition without a mint mark is worth anywhere from $60,000 in today's market. Coins in good condition may not fetch the highest prices compared to coins in mint state, but they still have value, especially since the 1923 penny is a key date in the series. If you happen to have one of these coins in your collection, it's definitely worth holding on to. If you have a 1923 Lincoln Wheat Penny, you'll want to preserve it properly. To keep it in the best condition possible, store it in a coin holder or flip to avoid any further damage. Don't clean the coin yourself. Cleaning can lower its value and impact its appeal to potential buyers. It's best to leave it in its natural state, preserving the history and charm of the coin. So, there you have it. The 1923 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark. While it might not be the rarest or most valuable penny out there, it's still a fantastic piece for any collector, especially for those who appreciate coins with historical significance. Next up, in today's video, we're diving into one of the more interesting pennies from the Lincoln Wheat series, the 1950 large date penny, with the S mint mark in extra fine condition. This is a coin that sparks curiosity, so let's explore what makes it valuable and what it could be worth in today's market. Stay tuned. Let's kick things off with the obverse of this penny. The famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, created by artist Victor David Brenner, is found here. It's a design that has stood the test of time, and even in this extra fine condition, Lincoln's features remain incredibly sharp and detailed. In this extra fine grade, you'll see very little wear on the details of Lincoln's hair, his bow tie, and his facial features, which still retain that crisp definition that makes this coin stand out. The 1950 date is prominently visible, and it's important to note that this is the large date variety, a distinctive feature that collectors love. Now, let's take a closer look at the mint mark. As you can see, this coin bears the S mint mark, indicating that it was struck at the San Francisco Mint. The S Mint mark coins from this era tend to have a bit of a premium over those struck in Philadelphia, which don't carry a mint mark. And when found in extra fine condition, it makes the 1950 S large date penny a particularly sought-after piece. Now, many collectors focus on mint marks, and the S mint mark on this coin makes it stand out even more. You'll find that this coin, compared to the regular Philadelphia struck version, can fetch a slightly higher value due to its rarity and appeal in top condition. Let's flip the coin over to the reverse. Here, you'll notice the classic wheat stalk design, which has been a hallmark of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series. Even in extra fine condition, the stalks show a lot of detail, and the lettering is clear and bold. The 1 cent at the center of the coin is crisp, and the wheat stalks wrap around it with full detail. The words, United States of America, are clearly visible, and you can even see the famous motto, E pluribus unum, running across the top. So, what exactly does extra fine condition mean? For a coin to be in extra fine condition, it needs to show only minor wear. On the 1950 S large date penny, the details in Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalk should still be crisp. You'll notice that the mint luster has started to fade just a little, but most of the design elements remain clear and sharp. This is what makes this coin so desirable among collectors. It's nearly as good as a brand new penny, just with a little history behind it. Now, let's talk about the coin's value. The 1950 Lincoln Wheat, penny large. Date with S mint mark in extra fine condition can be worth anywhere from $20,000 in today's market, depending on auction prices and the specific condition. If you find one in even higher grades, such as AU or MS, the value could increase significantly. While this penny isn't the rarest of the Lincoln Wheat Cents, its status as a large date with the S mint mark gives it a special place in the hearts of collectors. The extra fine condition helps it stand out from the more common, heavily circulated versions, which means it can attract higher bids at auctions and through private sales. If you have a 1950 S large date penny in your collection, or you're thinking about buying one, make sure to keep it safe. Store it in a protective holder to prevent any scratches or damage that might affect its value. Also, avoid cleaning. Cleaning coins can seriously reduce their value, so it's best to leave them in their natural, unaltered state. Remember, coin values fluctuate based on market demand, and coins in extra fine condition like this one are generally sought after by collectors who appreciate well-preserved pieces. So, if you're looking to sell, don't forget to check the latest auction listings to get a sense of its current value. So, there you have it. The 1950 Lincoln Wheat, penny large. Date with S mint mark in extra fine condition is a unique and valuable coin that stands out in the world of Lincoln Wheat Cents. While it may not be the rarest, its sharp details and high demand among collectors make it an interesting find. Next up, the 1920 Lincoln Wheat penny with the large date and, importantly, without mint mark. If you're into collecting Lincoln pennies or just want to know more about the market for these historic coins, you're in the right place. Let's jump into it and take a closer look at this special penny. Let's begin with the obverse side of the coin. On this side, you'll find the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has become synonymous with the Lincoln series and has remained an iconic feature of American coinage for over a century. Now, looking at this specific 1920 penny, you can see the large date feature. If you're familiar with Lincoln pennies, you know that in 1920, the U.S. Mint struck two versions of this coin, a small date and a large date. The large date version, like the one we're looking at today, stands out because the numbers of the date are noticeably larger compared to the small date. This small difference makes the large date version a collector favorite. One of the key features of this coin is that it's a 1920 penny without a mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. It's interesting to note that the mint mark, if present, would be located just below the date. Since this one doesn't have it, it's important to recognize that all 1920 pennies without mint marks were produced in Philadelphia. While 1920 pennies with a mint mark, like the Denver Mint or San Francisco Mint versions, tend to have a slightly different market value, the 1920 without a mint mark is still quite sought after, especially when in great condition. Now, let's flip the coin over to the reverse, where the wheat stalks are proudly displayed. This side of the coin features two stalks of wheat, which are flanked by the words United States of America at the top and E pluribus unum near the top center. On this coin, the wheat stalks are still defined even in its fine condition. While some of the detail might show a bit of wear, it's still easy to make out the 1 cent inscription at the center. The reverse of this coin is a great example of why the wheat penny series remains so beloved by collectors. Now, let's talk about the condition of this coin. This 1920 Lincoln wheat penny is in fine condition, which means it's been circulated but is still in good shape. The portrait of Lincoln and wheat stalks are clearly visible, though you may notice some slight wear. For example, Lincoln's hairline and some of the finer details may be less defined, and the edges may have softened a bit from years of handling. Despite this, the coin is still considered a nice example, especially for a coin that's over a century old. The fine condition helps this penny stand out among other circulated coins from the era. So, what is this 1920 Lincoln wheat penny with the large date worth in today's market? The value can vary depending on factors like overall condition and market demand, but for a coin in fine condition, you can expect it to be worth around $30,000 in today's market. Now, if this coin were in higher grades like extra fine or uncirculated, its value would jump significantly. But as a fine condition coin, it still holds solid value, especially because of its large date feature and age. The large date variation tends to attract collectors who are after specific features of the Lincoln wheat penny series. And while it's not one of the rarest dates or mint mark combinations, it's still a good find for any collector. If you've got a 1920 Lincoln wheat penny, or are thinking of buying one, be sure to store it properly to protect it from further wear and tear. Use a coin holder, slab, or album to keep your penny safe and preserve its value over time. Next up. In today's video, we're looking at a unique 1958 Lincoln wheat penny, specifically the large date version, which is known for its distinctive look. This one, however, is a bit different. It's in dirty condition with a red color shade that adds an interesting twist to its appearance. So, let's dive into the details of this coin and explore what it's worth in today's market. Let's start with the obverse side, where the portrait of Abraham Lincoln is displayed. This classic design by Victor David Brenner has been a staple in U.S. coinage since 1909. The 1958 is the final year of the Lincoln wheat penny series before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. In this large date version, the 5 and the 8 in the year appear slightly larger compared to the standard date of other years, making it stand out to collectors. The red color shade you see here is the result of the coin's original copper composition, though the dirty condition it's in now hides the true vibrant red luster that it once had. Now, this coin is in what we call dirty condition. Over time, dirt, oils, and grime have accumulated on the coin's surface, causing it to lose some of its original brilliance. Typically, red coins like this one are more desirable because they retain their youthful, coppery luster. But as you can see here, this coin has some tarnish and dirt buildup, which affects its appeal to certain collectors. The red color shade suggests that this coin was once more vibrant, but as it has been circulated and exposed to environmental elements, it now has a much less appealing look. Although red pennies are highly sought after, this specific example in dirty condition does lower its value when compared to one in pristine red condition. Now let's take a look at the key features on the reverse side of the coin. But before that, let's discuss the date and mint mark. This is where we find something special about this coin. This is a 1958 large date penny, but it's important to note that it does not have a mint mark, which indicates that it was minted in Philadelphia. The absence of the mint mark means it's part of the Philadelphia mintage, which makes it a little less rare than some of the other mint-marked pennies, but it's still valuable to collectors. On the reverse side, you'll see the classic wheat stalks design, which was a signature of the Lincoln wheat penny series. The 1 cent is prominently displayed in the center, surrounded by the wheat stalks with the United States of America engraved along the edge. In this dirty condition, the details of the wheat stalks are a little harder to distinguish, and you'll notice some fading in the design from wear and exposure. That's typical of coins that have been in circulation for decades and haven't been properly preserved. While it might not be in mint condition, the overall design is still present, giving it character and history. In its dirty condition, the coin's value is impacted by several factors, like the wear and grime it has accumulated. However, even in this condition, it's still worth something. A 1958 large date penny without a mint mark in dirty condition like this one is generally worth around $55,000 in today's market. However, if it were in cleaner or better condition, especially if the red color had been maintained, it could potentially reach $75,000 or more, depending on the collector demand and the specific auction setting. While this coin isn't in pristine or high-grade condition, it still holds historical value. It's important to keep in mind that the value can fluctuate depending on factors like the coin's exact appearance, collector interest, and market trends. So what can you do if you find a coin like this one in your collection? Well, first of all, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can actually reduce its value, so it's best to leave it in its current state. If you're looking to preserve its value, consider placing it in a coin holder or slab to protect it from further dirt or damage. Next up today, we are diving into one of the most interesting finds for coin collectors, the 1948 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, with a large date and no mint mark. Let's talk about its history, condition, and of course its value in today's market. First, let's set the stage by talking about the coin itself. The Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, is one of the most iconic and recognizable coins in American history. Produced from 1909 until 1958, the wheat penny features two sheaves of wheat on the reverse side, giving it its name. The 1948 penny is part of the post-World War II years, which were a time of economic recovery and coin production adjustments. Let's break down what makes the 1948 large date penny so special. This coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint and, importantly, does not carry any mint mark on the obverse side. During this era, the Philadelphia Mint did not place a mint mark on its coins. As a result, if you find a 1948 penny without any mint mark, it was produced in Philadelphia, which is the most common for that year. The large date variety is a specific style where the numerals of the year 1948 are noticeably larger than the regular size seen on other coins from the era. The 1948 large date penny, in very fine condition, is an especially interesting find. In very fine condition, you'll notice the coin shows moderate wear, but the major details, including the date and the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, remain distinct. The wheat stalks on the reverse may still show some detail, although they may have softened slightly due to wear. The overall appearance of the coin should still be relatively crisp and legible. But what about its value? Coin value depends on several factors: rarity, condition, and demand. For the 1948 large date penny, we're talking about a coin that is still common in circulation, but that doesn't mean it isn't valuable, especially in higher grades. So, what's it worth in today's market? In very fine condition, a 1948 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark can range in value from around $30,000, depending on the specific market conditions at the time of sale. Coins with better preservation, such as those in extra fine or AU almost uncirculated condition, can fetch even more, typically reaching $40,000 or more. However, it's important to note that the general market for wheat pennies is relatively stable, with occasional spikes in value due to collector interest. Now, let's take a closer look at the market activity for these coins. In recent auctions, well-preserved 1948 large date pennies have sold anywhere between $45,000, while ones with some added character, such as slight toning or interesting wear patterns, can be valued higher. Of course, the value is also affected by the reputation of the seller, the quality of the auction, and the interest from buyers on a given day. Collectors and investors alike pay close attention to rare varieties and those in exceptional condition. While the 1948 large date penny without a mint mark is not considered extremely rare, finding one in very fine condition or better can still be a great addition to your collection and can certainly increase in value over time. So, if you happen to have a 1948 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark and it's in very fine condition, make sure to store it properly and keep it safe, as it could see a rise in value if demand increases, especially for well-preserved pieces. Remember, the value of coins is always subject to market fluctuations, and it's always a good idea to have your coins appraised if you think you have a particularly valuable piece. Be sure to keep an eye on the auction results, as that's where you'll see real-time changes in coin values. That wraps up today's video on the 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this coin is a great example of how even the most common pennies can hold significant value depending on their condition. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more valuable coin tips, news, and information. Until next time, keep searching for those treasures and happy collecting.